everyone at welcome po sa ating channel. This is Coach Jared. Today is September 8, 2021 po mga kaibigan. At today is a Wednesday night if I'm not mistaken. At kung di pa po nagagawa rather, please click subscribe. May subscribe button tayo sa baba. Also, huwag nyo rin po kakalimutan na may notification bell tayo. Paki-click na rin po yung notification bell para malaman nyo po kung kailan na kung merong mga bagong uploads or bago naka-schedule na live. Also, paki-like at paki-share po natin yung ang live tonight at yung mga replay po na i-upload ko the following days. Yun po ang pinakamalaking suporta na pwede nyo po ibigay sa atin para po sa ating channel, para tumagal din po tayo dito sa YouTube. Pero mga kaibigan, bago po tayo tumuloy dyan, tayo po muna ay magbibigay po guys sa ating business partner na si Wonderfully Made. Si Wonderfully Made po ay isang online gift shop. Okay, at sa pamamagitan po niya ay makaka-order kayo ng mga regalong tulad ng ganito para sa inyong mga mahal sa buhay, mga girlfriend, asawa, ano pa ba? Girlfriend, asawa, pamilya, anak, kayo mga ganyan. Pwede nyo po ipa-customize yan, pwede nyo pwede kayo mag-iwan ng mga messages, etc. etc. So, para sumaya naman ang mga birthdays at anniversaries at mga special events nyong magsing-irog at magpamilya. So kung gusto niyo po umorder ng mga ganong klase mga pangregalo, kontakin niyo na po si Wonderfully Made sa kanyang Facebook account. Meron din po siyang Instagram account and tutulungan niya po kayo na makakuha ng mga napakagandang items para sa inyong mga mahal sa buhay. By the way, bago pala ako magpatuloy, dyan din po kayo makaka-order ng t-shirt Yellow Free 2022. Ayan. We have it in gray and in Vulak. Okay? Gray and black. Okay, so kontakin nyo lang si Wonderfully Made para maka-order kayo ng ganyan. Okay, tuloy tayo mga kaibigan. Today, nag-announce din pala. Hindi ko naramdaman pero nag-announce din pala si Lacson at si Soto. Okay, Lacson and Soto tandems top priority, a stronger pandemic response. Yan sila. So, tatakbo ulit si Lacson for president at tatakbo itong si Tito Soto for vice president. Kailangan natin ng leader na ang tama ay ipaglalaban at ang mali ay lalabanan. Napaka-generic naman ang statement na yan. Kaya naman magiging una sa ating prioridad ang mas maigting na pagtugon sa pandemya. Marapat lamang napunan ang mga kakulangan at ituwid ang mga kamalian. Kamusta naman sa motherhood statement dyan, Lacson? Sabi pa niya, we have to prepare for sustainable recovery from the health crisis. Tapos, I have no doubt that with a united citizenry, we will soon see the day that COVID-19 will no longer be a scare. Yun. Kakaya naman sa mga sinabi na to ni Lacson kasi kumakaway sa kanya yung kuratong baleleng at saka yung kumakaway din yung mga nasmagel na semento ng kanyang anak, di ba? Kumakaway rin pati yung si Dacer Corbito, si Bobby Dacer tsaka si Corbito. Naituwid ba yung kamalian na yon? I don't know. Hindi yata naituwid yun kasi nawala yung mga witness bigla. Nag-atrasan lahat ng naghahabla. So wala pa rin hustisyang nakukuha dun sa dalawang kaso na yun. Yung sa naman, yung sa what do you call this? Yung sa kaso naman ng ba't nawala? Wait, sorry. Okay. Yung sa kaso naman ng Dacer Corbito tsaka Kuratong Baleleng, wala, nag-atrasan wala na. Di ba pinag-usapan natin yan last time? Nawala bigla yung mga witness tapos yung kaisa-isang witness ngayon nagtatago na rin. Si Pepsi Paloma, kumakaway rin kay Tito Soto. Anyway, kailan kaya maitutuwid yung kamalian na yan? Kailan kaya? Kasi si Lacson sabi niya, itutuwid daw yung kamalian eh. Kailan kaya maitutuwid yung kamalian na yun? Anyway, tuloy natin. Meron pang isa na nabalitaan ko, mga kaibigan. Kanina, nung September 6, si Leni Robredo ay na-interview sa ANC. Okay, sa ANC po. Ito po ay tungkol sa 2022 elections. At meron po siyang comment tungkol kay Pangulong Duterte at saka kay BBM. Tinanong kasi siya ni Karen Davila. Ngayon, sa mga nanonood po ng live, swerte nyo po, may ipapalabas ko to dito. Kung swerte nga ba talaga. Kung swerte talaga. Dito ko ipapalabas ko sa live. Pero kung sa mga nanonood po ng replay, hindi ko po ito pwedeng isama dahil si ABS-CBN po mahilig mag-copyright strike. So, pasensya na po sa mga manonood ng replay, hindi ko po ito mapapalabas sa inyo. Pero sa mga nasa live ngayon, papanoorin natin to. At iintayin ko yung mga reaction nyong lahat. Wait lang. Mag-aayos lang ako ng sistema ko. Swerte daw pa o torture. Panoorin natin to, mga kaibigan. Feeling ko di ko alam kung anong magiging reaction nyo. Matutuwa ba kayo? Mabubisit kayo? Pero feeling ko mabubisit kayo. Tuloy natin. Panoorin natin to, mga kaibigan. Okay, buti na. Thank you very much sa pagkainan sa Korea. Mute ko muna, coach. Di ko talaga kaya paenggang boses ni Lugaw. Thank you very much sa inyong super chat. Actually, nakakairita yung boses niya talaga no? Ibang level. But ang akin, mga kaibigan, interesting, no? Para sa akin, it's very, very interesting na i-describe nila yung potensyal na kandidatura ni BBM as dangerous. Imagine, anong dangerous dun? Coach, magsasacrifice na ako, magpaboto ng, magpatubo na ako ng bigote. Yan, kahinaan ng Big VP, magsacrifice para sa bayan. Take one for the team, Boy Conejo. Hindi ko maisip. But anyway, yon, mga kaibigan. Why are these people, mga dilawans, thinking that a Duterte presidency or even a Marcos presidency for that matter is a dangerous thing? Maraming salamat sa 2,380 ngayon na nandito. Bakit naging dangerous yun? Kasi yun ang sinabi ni Leni. Kaya very important yung 2022 elections kasi yung danger nga na ma-propagate into power yung mga nakaupo. Yung danger na babalik yung another Marcos nandyan. I don't take it lightly. So feeling mo isa ka sa Avengers? at si Pangulong Duterte o si BBM ang Thanos ng na danger sa mundo? Ang tindi nito, mga kaibigan. Limang level ng kakapalan ng mukha to. Tapos sinanong siya kung sinong pipiliin niya sa dalawa, kung Isko Moreno or Manny Pacquiao. Kunyari pa siya na hindi niya iniisip yung numbers. Kaya lang naman niya naisip yan kasi alam niya na hindi niya makakakot yung boto. At kailangan niyang makuha either Manny Pacquiao or Isko Moreno para pagkatiwalaan siya ulit ng Liberal Party. Kailangan niya yun. Mas kailangan niya yun kesa magkaroon ng unity or magkaroon ng... Diyos ko, that's BS yung sinasabi niya ngayon na gusto niya ng unity. Hindi ako niniwala dyan. Unity pero kailangan kami-kami lang mga Liberal Party ang mag-uusap. Kaming opposition lang ang mag-uusap. Hindi unity yun. Unity pero yung opinion lang namin ang tama, hindi kayo pwede. Paano naging unity yun? Also, sinabi din dito ni what's her name? si Karen Davila, na one of the iconic daw na events doon sa vice presidential debate was the ill-gotten wealth. 2016 pa yon, mga kaibigan. Granted na 2016 pa yon, okay lang kasi hindi pa tapos yung mga hearing sa mga kaso. Ibibigay ko na sa kanila yan. Ibibigay ko na sa kanila yung panalo na yan. Walang problema. 2021 na. ...2021 na. Puntahan natin to. Merong isang article na isinulat tungkol sa controlling corruption by heads of government and political elites. Kasama po dito ang pangalan ni Marcos. Bakit? Dahil siya po ay nakasuhan ng RICO or Racketeering Influenced Corrupt Organization RICO case sa States noong 1989. Total amount ng ill-gotten wealth daw taken by the Marcos family associates and accomplices is $5 billion. Yun po ang usapan dyan. Yan po ang usapan prior to 2019 and 2020. Ano na po ang usapan ngayon? Papakita ko sa inyo. Gumawa ako ng Excel file. Ito yung, kaya ayoko minsan na nag-Excel ako kasi minsan ayoko yung napipirma yung takbo ng utak ko. Kasi pag napipit mo yung utak ko, kung ano yung pinaghahanap ko. Ito, nilista ko lahat ng mga kaso na na-dismiss. 2019 pa lang to ha. Wala pa yung 2020. August 5, 2019, civil case with Benedicto, 102 billion pesos ang na-dismiss. Civil case, September 5, 2019, civil case related to Marcos and Bienvenido Tantoco, 1 billion pesos ang dismissed. October 14, 2019, civil case related to Marcos Fam and Ignacio and Ferro Jimenez, 267,371 ang dismissed. Ito po yung pinakamalaki out of this. It's a civil case related to multiple Marcos assets, property, and bank accounts. Direkta po ito sa mga Marcoses. Wala pong kasamang accomplice. December 16, 2019, dismissed 200 billion. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung mga numero. Subtotal nung na-dismiss na kaso is 303 billion 267,371,000. Convert it into dollars, it's 6 billion already US dollars. Na-dismiss na. Ilan lang yung sinabi dun sa sa article? 5 billion ill-gotten wealth. So ang lumalabas, may utang pa ang gobyerno, may utang pa ang Pilipinas sa mga Marcoses. Sa dami ng kaso. Yun ang lumalabas eh. Lumalabas mga kaibigan, may utang pa ang Pilipinas sa mga Marcoses sa dami ng kinamkam nila sa mga Marcoses. Tapos wala pa yung RICO case. RICO case sa US properties and Swiss accounts total to 83 million US dollars. Dinagdag ko yan, kaya subtotal lang yan. Ang total ngayon is 6 billion 148,347,420 US dollars. May utang pa ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas sa mga Marcos. Ang conversion niyan as of today, 50 pesos. Siyempre, wala pa dyan yung inflation, wala pa yung interest, accrual ng compounding interest ng mga properties, ng mga assets. Kulang-kulang pa yan. This is based on the cases lang na nakalista. So ano ngayon? Saan ngayon nila gagamitin saan nila ngayon gagamitin yung argumento ng ill-gotten wealth? Saan ngayon gagamitin yan? O di wala. Wala na silang gagamitan yan. Kasi sumobra pa doon sa 5 billion US dollars ill-gotten wealth na recorded sa RICO claim. Ito po yung ikinaso ng PCGG, yung pinakaunang kaso nila. Sa US po yan hinabla, sa New York. Ang lumalabas, ninakawan pa ang mga Marcoses ng 1 billion dollars, more or less. Siyempre, meron kang interest sa mga bank deposits, meron kang dividends dun sa mga stocks, nag-i-increase ang value ng lupa, nag-i-increase ang value ng gold, nag-i-increase ang value ng jewelries, lahat yan tumataas. So, ang lumalabas pa, Marcoses pa ang nanakawan. So, sino ngayon ang kailangan magpaliwanag? Sino ngayon ang kailangan magpaliwanag? O, sagutin mo ngayon yung tanong na yan, Jeb Abesha. Where do you think the wealth of the Marcoses come from? Sagutin mo ngayon yung tanong na yan. So, kung hindi yan galing sa ill-gotten wealth, saan galing? Your guess is as good as mine. Pero definitely, ang sinabi ng mga korte, hindi yan ill-gotten wealth. So, sorry kayo. Yung mga dilawang nandito, sorry kayo. That's a fact. That's a fact. So, yung mga dilawang nandito, tsaka mga miyembro ng mga nagmo-monitor sa atin galing sa kabilang parlor, sorry. Sorry. Ma'am Norma Smith, maraming pong salamat sa inyong super chat. God bless you po. Ngayon, kung gusto nyong tanungin kung saan galing ang kayamanan nila, o di tanungin nyo sila. Pero definitely, sinabi ng mga korte na hindi yan nakaw. Sorry. Sorry kayo. Pasensya kayo. Pero mga kaibigan, pupuntahan natin ngayon kasi medyo controversial tong interview ni BBM kanina sa kapihan sa Manila Bay. Medyo mahaba lang siya, 18 minutes and 55 seconds, medyo mahaba lang. Pero may sinabi kasi si BBM dito na feeling ko lang naman, no? Hindi naman to fact. Pero feeling ko lang, parang ito yung sagot ni BBM kay Leni Robredo. Okay, panoorin natin tong video na.
The third question of Jackie Manabat of ABS-CBN, may I ask your thoughts, dynasty concern on the possible Marcos-Duterte tandem this 2022?
What is the dynasty?
Sorry. By the way, kinat ko na po ito anilagay ko na lang po dito yung mga questions na relevant po sa ating topic today. Pasensya na po.
Concern?
Marcos, Duterte.
And Duterte again?
What?
Again?
Marcos, President, Duterte yung Vice President.
Ganyan ang takbo ng politika eh.
Correct!
We talk a lot about the anti-dynasty but we haven't really decided what to do about it. The one thing that we have in the Constitution are the term limits.
Correct.
You know, we have to be candid and frank with each other that it hasn't really worked because the mayor runs for 3 terms and then he goes to vice mayor and the wife runs for mayor.
Yes.
Governor, the same thing, di ba?
Yes.
May senador, may congresswoman o may mag-asawa, magpapalitan. It really hasn't and you know, okay, there are political dynasties, but dynasties they're not marami rin tayong nakitang nataob na dynasty kasi hindi naman ang patakbo.
Tama.
We've seen that in the past
Pasig.
years. So I do not think it is as much
San Juan.
concern as I think it grew very much out of I don't know. I don't know what the stated intent was to allow other people to occupy positions that have been held by a family for a very long time.
Yes.
But you cannot avoid that because it's very simple. You go to a barangay. There are people who are interested in politics. There are people who are not. There are people who just want to have their store, or they want to be teachers, or they want to put up a school. They have no interest whatever in politics. There are certain groups that are interested in politics and will always be interested in politics. Kaya sila lagi ang nakikihalo dun. How many municipalities do you know of that there are two families that are exchanging the mayorship, have been exchanging it for 2 generations now? That's another form of dynasty, but you can still see that there have been many very clear examples of dynasties that did not succeed for whatever reason, because they did not do a good job in the provinces, especially. It depends, especially yung kasi ibang patak mo talaga sa local government, ibang patak sa national. So you know, you cannot avoid the families being a part of the political scene over several generations, because it becomes it becomes the family business. And that's what happens. Look at the Bushes, look at the Clintons. Even Churchill has his son became an MP. Maraming ganun. Less so, I think, in Europe, but in the United States, kasi personality driven din ang kanilang eleksyon eh. So that's why you have the senators who have been in office for 60 years, 50 years, and their children are following the Kennedys. I mean, up to now, the Kennedys are still very active in politics. So,
third and fourth generation na.
Fourth generation na yan ang mga Kennedys, starting with JFK.
Yes.
So, it's hindi mo rin naman mapigilan kung may interest ang tao sa politika.
Yes.
At hindi mo naman pwede pilitin ang tao kung hindi walang interest sa ibang yung gustong gawin.
Yes.
So I'm still not sure about what the two sides in the argument of the anti-dynasty movement.
Yes.
It's not clear to me.
And the fact is, although there is a declaration sa Constitution na against dynasty, the Congresses passed, and even the present Congress could not even pass the enabling
Yes,
law, diba?
agree.
So how can you impose that
Yes.
They're all generational also sa house.
Yeah.
Correct.
Possible. Tapos sir, you
Okay. Pag-usapan natin sandali yung na yan, yung tungkol dyan sa dynasty na yan. Sweet Justice, maraming po salamat sa inyong super chat. Basta ang alam ko sa 2022 is a redemption day for the Marcoses. Wait lang, kaso mga dilawan, pulahan, mainstream media at batik-batik. Sino yung batik-batik? Pasensya. Sorry na. Hindi ko alam. Okay. Ako po mga kaibigan, ako po I'm against political dynasties. Ako po yan, personally. I don't like political dynasties. Pero, let the people decide. Kasi hindi naman ako yung people. Kumbaga, hindi naman ako yung taong bayan. Ibig sabihin, I don't represent the majority. Lacson do batik-batik. Yung mga mga butterflies. Okay, gets. So, mga kaibigan, para sa akin, ako lang naman, mahirap tanggalin yung dynasty sa Pilipinas because of one thing. Dahil sa isang bagay. Dahil yan, either walang batas na sumusuporta doon sa constitution natin na dapat walang political dynasties. Pero weak yun eh. That's weak. I think the better solution or better way to minimize political dynasties is to remove term limits. Tanggalin natin yung term limits. Kasi, pag nilagyan mo ng term limits, mapupersa kasi talaga yung, bawa ako, tumakbo akong let's say mayor. Enjoy ko yung pagka-mayor ko. 'Di ba? Mapipilitan ngayon na ma-involve yung buong pamilya doon sa posisyon ng mayor. Kung every 3 years napapalitan, what have you. So kasi dahil nga sa term limits. Ngayon, if we remove term limits, posible rin, I'm not 100% sure, pero posible rin na isang miyembro lang ng pamilya ang may involve sa politika. Hindi yung buong pamilya. And yung boses ng tao will be more heard sa election. The only way to remove political dynasties are to vote them out. Yun lang naman wala kang magagawa Pero kung yung option is limited din, kung wala ka masyadong option, paano gagawin mo? For example, sa Pasig, 2 lang sila. 'Di ba? So, kung walang option, wala ka ring mangyayari. Walang mangyayari. So, in my opinion lang naman, of course, it's not absolute. Pero in my opinion, one way to curb yung dynasty is yung pagtanggal din ng term limits. Sa US nga, merong isang kongresista dyan si Nancy Pelosi, if I'm not mistaken, 40 years na siyang nasa Congress. 40 years, ha? And hindi ko alam kung ano yung involvement ng family niya sa politics. Pero 40 years. 40 years. So, if we remove term limits, mas maganda. Number 2, tanggalin mo yung term limits, number 1. Number 2, palitan natin yung form of government from presidential to parliament. Okay? From presidential to parliament. Bakit? Kasi po sa parliament, mas mabilis ang turnover ng mga leader. Kung hindi epektibo yung leader mo, madali siyang palitan. Vote of no confidence lang yan sa parliament. So, mas maganda kung ganun yung mangyari. Mas hindi magiging epektibo yung dynastic function. Okay, so may nag-comment ako kanina, hindi ko lang maalala kung sino. May nag-comment dito kanina. Sabi niya, Marcoses daw ang nag-start ng dynasty. Hello? Meron tayong tinatawag na Lopez, may tinatawag na Aquino, which predated Marcos. Pamilyang Aquino. Lolo pa lang yan, andyan na. O, ganun din naman ng mga Marcos, lolo pa lang sila. Nasa Ilocos Sur na sila. Nasa Ilocos na sila, mayor. Governor pala ng Ilocos. Tapos nag-congress and everything. Alam niyo mga kaibigan kung bakit ganyan ang setup natin. Kasi tayo sa Pilipinas, we're very tribal in nature. Tribalistic kasi tayo. And in our tribal communities, lagi tayong may isang leader na tinitignan. Either yung sa Southern Philippines, sa mga datu, diba, yung mga tribal chief natin. So normal sa atin yung may ganong klaseng mindset na ipinapasa lang yung authority from the father to the son and to the son and to the son. Normal sa atin yun. Ngayon, itong American system of government, yung presidential, edi yun din yung napapractice kasi yun talaga yun eh. That's how we are. That is how we are as a culture. So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na Marcos ang nag-umpisa. Kasi even before President Marcos became president, may mga dynasties na. But anyway, it's okay. Feel free to comment. Okay? Hindi naman ako nambabash dito ng mga nagko-comment. But anyway, tuloy natin to. Ay, sana. Yan. Ay.
You practically gave us a glimpse of your platform of government. Anyways, this is from Dreo Coloma ba to? O Calonso of Bloomberg. How do you harness the power of social media in the upcoming campaign? What are your thoughts on trolls and fake accounts?
Yun, trolls.
Well, they're a fact. Social media, as we mentioned, is going to be a very important part of this campaign, as it has become in all campaigns all around the world. And with it comes trolls and fake news. Well, I don't know how much control you can do over the internet because if you really think about it, there's very little, technically, there's very little way of controlling or putting out or taking out the website and who is to decide what should be removed and what
Correct.
should not be removed. Facebook has this policy that they just put everything out. Now they're having to rethink that policy and saying that if it's damaging or if it's calling people to violence or if it's there's material that's unsavory, pornographic, whatever, they're going to have to think about it again. But how do you do it? So one of the best ways we have the supposed fact checkers. But tignan mo naman yung mga
Fact
fact
checkers.
checker natin.
Correct.
Nagkamaliwanag kung sino-sino ibang
Huli ka, Balbon.
at sino ang kaaway nila.
Bias. So, okay.
Highly biased, extremely biased, and that's why. Again, there are ways around it. There are ways around it. You
Correct.
cannot go on Facebook or you cannot go kasi or I don't know, but some of the worst fake news is being spread by our fact checkers by saying something is wrong when in fact it's not, or making up
Correct.
stories and saying that there's something when nothing ever happened that way.
Mhm.
But marami. One of these days, pag mag-usap tayo, ikukwento ko sa iyo mga nangyayari sa amin.
Okay.
In my case, marami ng mga BBM International, BBM Youth, BBM pinuputol nila. Dahil political daw. Ewan ko.
Sa Facebook?
Oo, sa Facebook. Ang dami ng grupo namin na naging nabiktima. And all they were doing was putting out the same material that I put out on my website or I put out in my
Correct.
blogs.
So what happened? They have not been reinstituted?
They have, some of them have come back,
Oh.
but some of them have just been removed or their website has been closed, and for no good reason.
Okay.
As I said, the material that I put out on my website, they put out on theirs, and because now it's biased, it's not or something, I don't know. But these are people expressing an opinion. You don't have to agree with it. And it's not a call to arms to violence. It's not
Exactly.
pornographic. It's not offensive.
But Facebook
It's not
is supposed to
even-
be, right, kaya niyan, US-based yan. So what?
US-based, oo.
Oh, so,
Pero may sariling fact checker. kasi
so they
siyempre,
rely
yung
on
mga-
the recommendation of the fact
Oo,
checker.
kasi hindi naman talaga nila
Mga
alam
fact checkers na yan.
Sino yung taong yan, kung
Okay.
totoo ba talaga yung sinabi. Pero it's clearly becoming very political. Kaya wag ka magulat pag biglang naputol ito, tinanggal ako sa Facebook.
Ito, sir,
Naman sana.
ni Deo Calonzo of Bloomberg.
Anyway, balikan natin yung fact checkers na yan. Kasi alam naman natin yung fact checkers ng Pilipinas ay si Krappler at saka si Perafiles. Na alam naman din naman natin na funded sila by somehow by George Soros, na very very ardent liberal sa Amerika. Okay. Sa States po mga kaibigan, ang Facebook ay under ng isang section ng kanilang batas. No? Pakita ko sa inyo. Section 23 if I'm not mistaken. Section 230 pala. Section 230. Ano po ibig sabihin ng Section 230? Si Section 230 po sa Amerika, sa batas nila, binibigyan ng definition kung ano ang isang platform o plataforma at publisher. Okay? Ngayon mga kaibigan, si Facebook, si YouTube, si Twitter, yung mga yan, nagfo-fall sila as platform. Plataforma lang. Ibig sabihin, maglalagay ng content sa'yo, ang mga tao, hindi mo pwedeng pakialaman yung laman na yan. Hindi mo pwedeng tanggalin, hindi mo pwedeng pakialaman. Kasi plataforma ka lang. Platform ka. Kapag platform ka, sa states din, ay hindi ka pwedeng maging responsable sa libel. Kasi hindi mo content yan eh. Hindi mo content yung ina-upload dyan. So, hindi ka responsable sa libel. Ngayon, pag naging publisher ka, ang publisher, equivalent niyan ay parang mga dyaryo, mga TV, yung gumagawa ng content chine-check yung content, nag-editorialize, pag publisher ka, yun, pwede ka nang mahabla ng libel at pwede ka rin magdagdag bawas ng impormasyon. Depende sa'yo kasi publisher ka. Ngayon, sa Amerika, mga kaibigan, ang category ni Facebook, ni YouTube, ni Twitter, etc. ay platform. Platform po sila. Kaya yung ginagawa po, yung sinasabi po ni BBM ngayon, na pagtanggal sa mga political posts, pagtanggal sa mga pages niya na sumusuporta sa kanya pala, di pala pages niya, sa mga pages na sumusuporta sa kanya, yung ginagawa ng fact checkers na yan, na yung mga post natin, pag in-upload natin, biglang merong comment sa ilalim na this is misinformation, tapos iba pa sa atin na, what do you call this? Na nasususpend sa Facebook. Bawal po yun. That is not the actions of a platform according to US law. Kaya mga kaibigan, sana pag kung makakaupo and I hope makaupo si President BBM. Si President BBM. Sana ma-address niya yung problema na yun. Na dito sa atin na dito sa Pilipinas somehow ma-address natin yung problema na yan ng censorship sa iba't ibang plataforma. Sana po. Pero yun po ang sinabi ni BBM. Kailangan kontrolin natin yung fact checkers. Kailangan yung fact checkers chine-check mo rin. Hindi pwedeng arbitrary kung ano lang yung gusto nilang ibalita, may bahid na nga ng politika yung pinagsasabi nila. Yun pa rin yung tama. Hindi pwedeng ganun.
What is, actually, meron din, kapareho siya ng question ni Rex Benito. What specific government positions are you considering to run in 22 elections? Is there any chance you still run for VP or senator in the coming election, or is it really president or nothing?
I think the most I can say is I'm planning to run for a national position. So that's
talaga sagutin.
That's as definite as I can get.
Okay. Is an Marcos sister brother team possible at the Senate?
The Senate?
Yeah.
Well, we've seen them before. So that's not why if that's where it ends up. It's not particularly unusual.
Di ba si Pia at si Alan?
Yan, si Pia at si Alan. Tapos yung mga magkapatid, mag-ama, meron din tayo.
Mag-ina. Tsaka mag-ina.
So this is ngayon, pag nanalo na si Mark Villar, mag-ina sila.
Hindi, si Jinggoy at si Dr. Aloy.
Ayun, isa pa yun. They were together also. So, it's within the realms of possibility.
Okay.
I don't know if we are seriously considering such a thing.
Why we were rudely interrupted by the internet connection.
Ito na. Ito gusto ko tong question na to.
VP pending is it pending before the Supreme Court or before the PET?
It's before PET. Yeah, PET. It's before PET. Yes. That's right. It's before the PET.
So you have appealed the PET. And this, once the PET decides on this, it will go all the way up to the Supreme Court, sir?
No, we just there's a motion for reconsideration with the Supreme Court. Actually, was the one who decided. The PET made the recommendation and put it to a vote in the Supreme Court. And we lost the vote, but we filed the motion for reconsideration. And now the Chief Justice has asked both sides to comment. So nandun tayo. That's where we are on the process. Nakapagbigay yata na kami ng comment. I don't know the other side. But then because of the pandemic, na-delay because kuminsan hindi na sila makapag-embank. So they cannot attend to this as well as they used to be able to. So and we are coming up to filing. And so this is becoming we have to just make sure that we get closure on some of the questions that we have. Yun ang motion reconsideration, hindi namin maintindihan kung minsan yung mga naging desisyon. Kasi ang pagkaalam namin, iba dun sa in-announce. So, but we will continue. We'll continue with that and we'll finish.
Bad trip yun sa pet na yan.
Just update ni sir, ano ba ruling ng Supreme Court? Ang voting?
Titignan nila yung
Number of voting.
kung may hindi nga kasi that's one of the questions that we raised with the Supreme Court because it was announced the vote was 15-0 to
Yes.
against my protest and to drop the protest drop the protest. However, when you look at the voting, when you look at the records, it's different. Some justices voted for the dismissal of the entire protest.
Oo.
But the
Ito
majority
yun.
only voted for to proceed to the third cause.
Ang labo naman nun.
Malabo,
Majority.
pero ang
Oo.
in-announce 15-0.
Yes.
Kaya kami sabi na ipaliwanag naman ninyo kung ano ibig sabihin yan.
Oo.
Dahil iba't iba, if may 8-7 may 8-7 na vote na 8
Proceed.
8 was to proceed and
Oo.
7 was to dismiss the protest.
Okay. Given that scenario and the filing on September 8 and the substitution by November, does it, correct me if I'm wrong, once you file your COC, will this make your appeal or MR null and void already because you filed for COC?
Well, it is it's when you take your oath, I think is the critical because pag tinanggap mo yung position ng whatever it is, ibig sabihin hindi mo na hinahabol yung position na pinoprotesta mo. So that's the defensor doctrine. That was tested by Miriam Defensor.
Yung presidential.
Nag-presidential siya,
Oo,
tapos
senador.
nag-protest siya, pero pag sumpa niya bilang senador, di naging moot yung kanyang kaso.
Will you answer me if I ask you how much it cost you already to make sure na itong pet ay ma-pursue mo to the end? How much so far have you spent?
Well, yung hiningi sa amin ni Justice Kagiwa kagad was 70 million.
Wow,
to conduct-
7-0?
Laki, no?
Yeah.
70
Oh,
million.
72 million to conduct the recount.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And your opponent,
Grabe yun, 72 million.
Robredo, spent as much or much less?
No, yun na nga. I remember when I was there in Cafe Adriatico, I was complaining that we were ordered to pay a certain amount of money for to print out the ballots. So inorderan kami 7 million. So binayaran namin para ma-print out yung ballots. Ngayon, yung kabila na nag-o-object doon sa amin, sinabi gusto rin namin ng kopya. Sabi hindi naman kayo nagbayad, bakit kayo magkakaroon ng kopya? Akin ito. But the Supreme Court gave it to them and did not give it to us. Yung binayaran ko, binigay nila sa kampo ni Robredo, hindi binigay sa amin. Kaya,
grabe.
Yeah, I know. It's been a revelation as to how powerful is some of ours and how partisan some of our justices are.
Grabe yun, no? Ikaw na yung nagbayad, tapos yung produkto hindi mo pa nakuha. Bad trip. Sobrang bad trip. Justin Buhi, maraming salamat sa yung super chat. God bless BBM daw, sabi niya. God bless din po. Grabe yun, no? Tindi. 72 million, nagbayad ka ng 72 million para sa protesta mo. Tapos, yung 72 million na yon gagamitin yon sa pag-print ng mga balota, tapos pag-recount, pambayad sa mga tao na magre-recount, etc. etc. Humingi ng kopya yung kabilang partido. Wala silang pinuhunan na, wala silang binayad, walang kahit ano. Sa kanila pa binigay. Sa kanila pa binigay yung mga dokumento. Antindi mga kaibigan. Ibang level. Ito yung unang-una kay Justice Kagiwa to. Ito yung unang-una. Grabe yun, tindi. Actually, hinanap ko yan kasi na-curious ako hinanap ko siya. Nangyari pala talaga yun. Pero ang binalita is soft copies. Yan. Pet grants Robredo plea to secure copies of ballots. Tindi, no? Wala ka lang ang pinuhunan, humingi ka pa ng kopya, at pinagbigyan ka pa ng korte. Grabe tong ginawa nila kay BBM, mga kaibigan. Ibang level ng kadugasan tong ginawa nila. Dinaya mo na sa eleksyon, dinaya mo pa sa pera. Antindi. Antindi. Ibang level.
And that is ground, di ba? For something. I cannot accept that.
It's just the record's very clear. It's this all happened. Yeah.
Okay. May follow-up lang, Sir Sidreo Calonzo of Bloomberg. Mayor Sara has named you as possible VP running mate based on news reports she's read. Are you open to that? Are there ongoing negotiations with her camp to make that happen?
Well,
Sara na.
as I said earlier, everything is possible. Anything can happen, and yes, negotiations are ongoing with everyone. Well, with all I've spoken. I've spoken to most of the groups that are going to be active at some point, and so in the national election. And yeah, lahat yan napopursue, napapag-usapan itong combination na ganito, itong combination na ganyan. So again, it's all possible. And yes, we are in constant discussions with all the other parties as to how to position ourselves for 22.
Sir, can you grant me a takeaway question? Will there be a Marcos Lenny Part 2 fight in 2022 elections?
Ito na yan.
It's entirely possible, and if it's going to be a one-on-one fight, that will be good because I know I can win that.
That's pang banner, pang scoop, no? Looking forward for part 2. Di ba? Okay. On that note, I would like to thank our guest for today who's been very candid and very frank.
Mga kaibigan. Ito yun yung headline kanina. Yan yung headline kanina. Papakita ko sa inyo. Bongbong Marcos confident of beating Robredo in 2022 election scenario. Yan yung headline ngayon na Inquirer. Bukas sigurado may sagot si Lenny dyan. bukas may sagot si Lenny dyan. Maniwala kayo. Hindi papatalo yung na yan Babaeng yan Sabi ni BBM, if it's going to be a one-on-one fight, that will be good because I know I can win that. Kung silang dalawa lang, walang problema. Panalo. So, for example, kaso malabo ng one-on-one kasi nagsabi na si Lacson, tapos si Bongo is still in the running dahil hinihimas-himas pa raw si Bongo. Hindi pa natin alam kung Sara will be running for president or vice president. Marami pa tayong hindi pa alam. So, magkakaroon lang tayo ng kasiguruhan pagdating ng October 8, most probably. And then may nabanggit kanina yung host na parang may deadline pa for substitution hanggang November. So yun, masigurado na yun. Yung after November. Kasi mukhang dun talaga magkakaalaman. So, let's see kung ano mangyayari, di ba? Let's see kung ano mangyayari. Excited ako dyan. Excited ako dyan sa mangyayari na yan. So far, ang what we have in the running, yung sure na, yung in-announce, dalawa. It's Bongo tsaka Lacson. So far. Yung mga nagpapakyut pa lang, yung mga medyo nagpapakyut, ito nga, sila BBM, sila Mayor Sara, Isko Moreno. Si Manny Pacquiao din pala. It's either presidency or senator or retire. So, most probably, he will gun for presidency. Most probably. So, Hintayin na lang natin yung kumpirmasyon ng tatlo. So, si BBM, si Sara, tsaka si Isko. Yung si Cayetano, di ko alam kung tutuloy yun. Pero ang pinaglalaban lang niya, online sabong. Yun lang ang gusto niyang labanan online sabong. So, di ko alam kung ano magiging epekto nun sa voting public. Ay, nako. Di ba? Online sabong tsaka casino, yun ang mga gusto niyang, yun yung plataforma niya, online sabong. Marami nagko-comment dito, i-guess ko raw si BBM. Sa susunod, salamat. Okay. Let's see, I don't know, hindi ko nga alam kung nasa radar ako ni BBM. Sir BBM, kung nasa radar nyo naman ako, paki-ano naman. Bekenemen, mag-guess kayo sa akin. Bekenemen. Kung nasa radar tayo ni BBM. Well, let's see. If it happens, it will happen. If not, walang problema. I mean, I will still support BBM nonetheless. Okay? So, ayan mga kaibigan. Hanggang dyan na lang po muna tayo ngayon. Ay, may question dito. Si Riza Marcos. If Bongo and PRRD runs, will Sara run as well? Good question. I don't have an answer to that. Pero, I don't have an answer to that. Pero, ito ngayon yung mga possibilities. Possibility lang naman. Dahil nagkaroon ka ng ng Bongo PRRD tandem. At mukhang medyo solid na siya Mukhang medyo solid na yan. Konting pa-cute pa raw to si Bongo. Tanggi-tanggi kunyari, tapos may tatanggapin din. But anyway, let's see. Ito yung mga possible scenarios. Possible lang naman. I'm not sure if this is going to happen. Pero possible. Pwedeng mag-file si PRRD at saka si Bongo as a tandem and then substitute by November. Pwede mangyari yon. Pwede mag-substitute si Bongo kay Mayor Sara, if ever. Or, PRRD drops his candidacy, bababa si Bongo sa VP, tapos si Mayor Sara as president. Possible yan. That's one scenario. Second scenario, magtutuloy-tuloy ang PRRD Bongo. Magtutuloy-tuloy yan hanggang May. Magbabanggaan Bongo, Sara Duterte Carpio, PRRD. Yun ang babanggaan. Possible yan. Third scenario is tuloy-tuloy ang PRRD Bongo and then Sara will run for president and BBM will run for vice president. Which I think is unlikely. Mukhang hindi mangyayari yun. Kasi mukhang hindi mangyayari yun. Pero things can happen. Sabi ko nga sa inyo things can go upside down sa Philippine politics without batting an eyelash. So, let's see. Ang hope lang natin talaga, my sincerest hope is hindi magbanggaan si BBM tsaka si Sara for the presidency. Sana hindi. Ayan, so hanggang dyan na lang po muna tayo mga kaibigan. Maraming pong salamat sa 2,500 na nandito po kanina. Kay lumalaki na po ang ating community. Maraming pong salamat sa inyo pong patuloy na pagsuporta po sa atin. Huwag po sana kayo magsawa. At mga kaibigan, magkita-kita po tayong muli on Friday. Depende kung ano ang lagay ng ating katawan dahil sa vaccine na yan. So magkita-kita po tayo on Friday, 11:15. 11:15. Ang dami. Dati kasi 11 o'clock lang Sa 11:15 p.m. on our next Coach Jared Live. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless po sa ating mga nasa abroad. God bless your day. Sa mga nasa Pilipinas naman po, God bless your rest. Now, see you all on Friday, 11:15 p.m. Bye, everyone. God bless. See you on Friday.